Okay, babe. So,
Hmm.
you know how every year for New Year's we're hanging out with our best friends,
Yes.
and we always seem to miss the countdown?
Every year. We've done it for like 10 years.
It's
And every single year we get caught up in conversation and we miss the entire countdown.
okay. I have an idea.
Okay.
This year, randomly, shortly beforehand, one of us needs to pull up a countdown on our phone and play it really loudly and see if we can get everybody to start counting down at the wrong time.
Oh my gosh, that would be great. Welcome to the Wandering RV Podcast, your bi weekly source for our stories
Our screw ups.
and our successes living the full time RV life. I'm your host, Kara, the Wandering RV Babe, and this is my driver, Ryan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Well, it's not really New Year's for us. It's a Happy New Year's for you. We're recording this the week beforehand, but we wanted to release this episode on New Year's Day to celebrate with you and have fun with you, even though you'll probably all be sleeping in and won't even listen to this until Monday, anyways.
True. So where are we heading today, babe?
We are literally heading nowhere because Texas had a cold freeze and nobody was ready for it, and so our campground we were supposed to be going to today has no water.
Yeah. That was kind of a problem waking up this morning, finding out that the campground we were about to go to had no water and we couldn't stay in our current spot.
Yeah, so we had to wake up this morning. We talked to our current campground. We're like, hey, so the campground we're heading to, they have no water. It might just be easier if we could at least stay here one more night, and then that way we can go down tomorrow, and hopefully maybe they'll have everything fixed by then. And they were like, no, we've got somebody coming in today.
Yeah.
But it turned out really, really good. It worked out. I talked to our campground that we were heading to down in Galveston. We talked about it. We decided, you know what? Maybe it's just better if we're just going to skip the Galveston trip. We talked to the campground that we're at right now, and they said they actually heard from the people who were supposed to be coming in that they got snowed in. I apologize, whoever you are.
Yeah, that really sucks.
It sucks for you, but we really appreciate it because we get to stay in your spot a little bit longer.
Yeah, we don't have to move.
Yeah, so we are still in DFW. We are not heading anywhere. But by the time you're hearing this episode, we will be prepping to head out to Florida.
Yay! And good news though, even though we're not getting to do our Galveston trip, we are at least back in our camper. We got our camper back.
We did. If you were listening to the last episode, we dropped off our camper to have some service work done, and oh my gosh, they got it all done. 3 weeks, they got everything we needed done. They were told
Dun
us
dun.
dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
They told us that some of the parts were going to take like 4 to 6 weeks, and
Yeah.
they managed to get it all done in 3 weeks. We told them, hey, we really need it back in time for the holidays because we've got family coming into town, and we need to be able to like be in our RV and not invading on my parents' space because they've got my sister coming in, my mother's brother coming in, and all the dogs coming in. It was just going to be pure insanity. So
Yes.
we needed to be in our home, and they got it taken care of for us. So now I'm willing to say who we took it to because last time I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to be mean because I wasn't sure. But Funtown RV took really good care of us. They got everything fixed. They got it all done in a timely fashion, which is really hard to say sometimes.
Yeah, not only did they get it done timely, but their customer service when we got there was amazing. So, like, the repair guy came out, he walked with you around the RV and talked you through everything he did to make sure that everything that was on our list was taken care of. They cleaned the inside of it and the outside of it, like, detailed it, which was really nice. And that was all included in our maintenance package, so it didn't cost anything else. So that was really great. But then when
Well,
we got it back to
yeah,
your parents' house to load everything up in it, we found something.
yeah. So we decided when we got it back it was time to sanitize. You're supposed to sanitize every 6 to 12 months as a full timer. We were like, we've been in this for almost 18 months. It's time to sanitize. So we
Sanitize the water lines.
yes.
Yes.
So we pulled up to our parents' house and we immediately grabbed a big bucket, put some bleach in, put some water in. We filled it up, filled the fresh tank, ran all the lines, got all the lines nice with a little bit of bleach in them everywhere. And then the next morning, we're going to load the rest of our stuff into the camper. And I found a water leak in the basement.
Yes.
It's hard to say what went wrong. Maybe it had frozen, unfroze, and cracked a little bit, or maybe just the pure G force of traveling down the road had broken something loose and we just hadn't noticed it yet. Funtown had no reason to know about it. They had no reason to even put water into the lines to even know. So
Yeah, like it wasn't their fault at all. It's just part of living the RV life. It happens.
exactly. So I pulled the basement panels off, found where it was at. We figured out what part we needed to get. So we left that morning to go get the part. Had to figure out how to uninstall the old part to take off the old clamps that were on there. That was a little bit of an adventure. But once we got the clamps off, we got the new part on, we got it all screwed down, everything was good. We pressurized the lines, and that spot wasn't leaking, but another spot, maybe 6, 7, 8 inches down, was leaking also.
Yeah.
So we had to go back out to the store,
Take two.
take two, get another part. The first one was an L joint, the next one was a T bracket. Luckily, I'd already done it once, so I had kind of a little bit more experience this time getting it on. And we got it all mounted up, pressurized. The new clamp didn't quite hold as the correct way, so we had to make a few adjustments, repressurize. Okay, got it all cleared. So we loaded everything in the RV except for a few of our basement items, just in case it started to leak again.
Yes.
So that way I could keep an eye on it. If I needed to adjust or tighten anything, I could go in and tighten it, which I did. And then, it all worked out in the end. The leak is now gone. Life is good.
It was funny though getting to the campground. So all of this kind of extra stress and work to get everything ready to go and finally have it roadworthy. We get to the campground, which wasn't too far away. It was like 10 minutes down the road. So it's not too far away, but we get in our site and we found that the camper who had been in this site before us had broken off their elbow joint that goes into the sewer line, and it was stuck in the sewer line. And when Ryan tried to jigger it off, it just pulled the whole sewer cap off. So that was fun. Not a huge deal. We were able to call the campground the next morning when the office opened. They came right over, they fixed it, they put a brand new cover on, and we were able to get our sewer hooked up, and everything was good there. But it was just kind of like one thing right after another. So lots of craziness.
Just in time for the cold weather where we survived.
It was -4 at one point.
-4 wind chill in our RV. Oh my, that wind chill. It makes a difference. We used to talk about, well, do we need to get those little sidings to like block the wind from blowing underneath the RV? Yes, if we're going to be in this temperature, you need the sidings, but we did not we do not ever want to be in this temperature again. We're going to try to avoid it, but it doesn't mean it won't happen. And we were cold. We had at least 2 lines freeze at different times throughout the entire week and weekend.
And it did not take long for those lines to freeze. We were dripping our water, but at one point we had turned it off so that we had hot water for a shower. And in 45 minutes it took to turn off the water in the galley tank, which is the kitchen, the line froze.
Like nothing. Then into now we can't go to Galveston, so
It's
we are
been one thing right after another.
so we are
Should
not.
we even be recording this right now? Maybe if we speak about what we're doing in 2023, it won't happen. I don't know. This could be a bad thing.
No. This is good juju. This is good juju.
Good juju. Okay. All right.
So, since we're stuck here, not driving anywhere, we are enjoying our libations as well.
Yes. We are drinking Winter Coalition, which is a winter ale from Manhattan Project in Dallas. One of the things that I love about DFW is they have amazing places to eat, amazing places to drink. Their microbrewery, micro distillery, and micro winery scene are amazing here. And one of the places that we love to go is Manhattan Project. So we are drinking their Winter Coalition. It's one of their seasonal winter ales. Really, really tasty.
So while we've been here in DFW, we've gotten to hang out with some friends, gotten to do a couple of cool things. One of the places we got to go back to that we haven't been to in so long was Wine Fusion in Grapevine, Texas.
Love Wine Fusion. Our buddies Nick and Danielle are doing it right down there.
Yeah, so they started off with like a very limited selection of wines. The idea was that they were all single varietals, so you could blend, and so you could make your own blends. Like one of the first things I think we did there was actually a wine blending class.
It was so much fun too.
It's insane because you try this one varietal by itself, and most wines are not pure one varietals. So you try that one by itself, and you're like, oh, I see what I like about this. But then you try this other one, and you're like, oh, but this would be really good, and oh, this one's really good. And then all of a sudden you add them all together, and you create these blends that can be amazing. And they had their own little blends. There were a few people there who worked there that we love to be like, okay, what's your blend this week? Like, make your blend for me, and they would blend theirs together. But they have grown, they've exploded. They have hundreds of wines now to choose from, and tons of food.
Yeah, and Nick, who is the owner, he's a sommelier. He's a great guy. He has one of the best palates I think I've ever come across, and his selection that he pulls in of his wines are incredible. So you don't have to know wine. Like, that's the amazing part about wine fusion. You just go say, here's some of the flavors that I like. Here's the things that I don't like about wine, and he and his staff will find something that I can guarantee you're gonna like.
We got done with our second Christmas in the camper.
Yes.
How do you feel about it now?
How do I feel about Christmas, or how do I feel about the camper?
Your choice.
Well, I was really bummed that our camper was being serviced for so long that we literally got it back the week before Christmas, and it didn't really feel, with all of the things that we went through and the extra stress of the leaks and the complications. I just didn't decorate for Christmas this year, so I was a little bit bummed about that I couldn't decorate for Christmas, because I have some really cute decorations that go really, really well in our camper, and put me in the holiday spirit. But the nice thing is we're in town, we're near family, we've spent a lot of time in Sticks and Bricks homes over the last several weeks, and everybody had their houses decorated for Christmas, so I was able to get in the holiday spirit. Certainly would have loved to have spent more time actually in our camper decked out for the holidays, but I'm very happy to now have 2 Christmases in our camper under our belt.
But we had an opportunity to deck out my beard for the holidays.
We did, and we definitely decked out your beard. It went from reddish brown to white, Santa white.
We'd been planning this since, like, I think maybe even May. We were like, okay, we need to, for Christmas, don't tell anyone, show up for Christmas Day with a white beard. And we waited till the last week because we were kind of like, okay, we don't know what's going to happen. So we waited till the last week, and we went to look for, like, the cream, the more cream style color, temporary color, and we couldn't find it anywhere. So we had to go to Party City and get their spray on white, which is basically just hairspray with a little bit of white kind of coloring in it.
Yeah.
And my beard was as stiff as a rock, and I was molting all day, but I had my white Santa beard for Christmas Day.
Yeah, it was great. I will say, when you get old and you have a real white Santa beard, you're still gonna look really, really cute.
The other thing that we did get to do for the Christmas holidays was we watched Christmas movies.
We did.
We watched quite a few different Christmas movies. Laid it down for me. What was your favorite Christmas movie of the year?
Oh, 100%. It was Spirited.
Oh,
with
yes.
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. Brand new this year, I think. I
Yeah.
think it just came out this year. It was amazing. It's a musical that's obviously filmed as a movie, and it was really funny. Definitely a play on A Christmas Carol, so hopefully I'm not giving away any spoilers. But it was really great. It's a great watch, and doesn't take itself too seriously, but yeah, we loved it.
I think that's the best part. It's a Christmas movie. It's not trying to take itself seriously. It's having fun, enjoying, and just some really great songs like Good Afternoon.
Good afternoon! So, even though we've had all of these extra complications, even in the last 2 weeks, we've had craziness happen with our camper. Are you still ready to do this again? Are you still up for another year of RV traveling?
Nope, let's give it up right now.
No.
Nope, we're not traveling anymore. We're done.
You might be done, but I'm not. I didn't say you could go. I'll give you a promotion.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You can be my driver, and you can be my extra cute driver.
Oh, I've been promoted from your driver to your extra cute driver?
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Where do you want to go this year?
So, we already talked about how we travel. We'll have like anchor points that we plan out during the year.
Ooh, I like that anchor points.
Anchor points, yeah.
That's a great way to. That is a.
I think of good ideas sometimes.
all the time.
So we have our anchor points for this year already figured out, and the rest of it we're gonna make up as we go along. And actually, we would love your input, if you're listening, on places that we should hit along our route between our anchor points. So first place that we're going this year is Miami.
I'm so super excited for this. We were in Florida last year and we talked about it. We were like, we should take a trip down to Miami. Okay, well, let's find a week for that. And we never did.
We never did. But now we are spending an entire month in Miami. It's going to be a blast. Now, we are going to spend the month that spring break is happening. So planning. But it's still going to be fun. It's still going to be a blast. And it's Miami.
There's just so much to do in Miami, so many fun things. And I think to my knowledge, I've never been there. So I'm really excited just to see and experience it, have some fun,
Yeah,
get to see all the beautiful beaches, and you're kind of like right there between the ocean and the Gulf, and you kind of get to really just enjoy both of those environments because they are really really different. Like you go to the Gulf Coast side, beautiful white sand beaches. You go to the ocean side, and you just got these massive, cool looking waves that they're just awe inspiring.
exactly. So that's going to be fun. I'm super excited for that. So anchor point number 2 is Steamboat Springs, Colorado for July 4th.
Yep, this one's been really heavily recommended to us. We wanted to do something fun for July the 4th since last year we were really smart and did it in 113-degree weather in Texas.
Yeah, this time we're not going to make that same mistake again.
Nope, we are going to Colorado. We're going to be in nice, comfortable weather where we can hang out, enjoy ourselves, and experience July the 4th outside, not having to shy away into the AC.
Exactly. Anchor point number 3 is probably the biggest surprise. We're going to Canada.
Vancouver, British Columbia, here we come!
Yes. So after we get done in Colorado, we're going to hightail it right up into Vancouver and spend, what, a week, 2 weeks, something like that up there?
Yeah, I think it's just a week.
Okay. That's going to be super fun. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, we're going up there for a convention, but we're also going to be spending some time in the area, just checking out. We hear there's some amazing bike trails and just so much stuff to do outdoors, and we're going to be there in the perfect part of the year where it is comfortable, it's not too cold, it definitely is not going to be too hot for us, lowly little Texans down here. We've been to Canada before, but we've never really like spent any length of time in Canada. So being able to be there for a whole week and really just get to have fun and see Vancouver for all of its glory is going to be super exciting.
And then you can't go to Vancouver and not hit some amazing places along the northwest in the US. So our anchor point number 4 is we're going down to Port Angeles, and we're going to go across to Victoria Island and go check out Victoria Island, which is, I hear, beautiful. We've never been there, but we hear amazing things about it.
The RV is not coming on the ferry with us. We're just going to go.
We're going to camp in Port Angeles and take a day trip to Victoria Island.
There you go. And I believe Olympic National Park's right in that area, so
Yeah.
there's some really cool stuff just right around Port Angeles that's going to be really, really fun. And then from there, our kind of last kind of hazy, what'd you call it?
Anchor point.
Hazy anchor point is coming down through California and into Arizona to spend our colder months of the fall in Arizona before we come back to Texas again for the holidays.
Yeah, so we are excited about Arizona. We've heard great things. We've heard it's gorgeous out there as well. I've never really been to Arizona except for I went on a business trip one time, but I didn't really get to experience a ton of what Arizona has to offer. So I'm excited about hitting up Arizona. We haven't decided exactly where we're going to go yet in Arizona. We just know we're going to be there.
Yeah, I mean we're open to suggestions. If you've got any really great places we should check out, let us know. I know there are some amazing campgrounds, some great meetups that happen in Arizona, and so who knows, maybe we'll be in the area when one of those meetups happen. But the idea is we're just gonna kind of probably by about late October get back to Arizona and we'll just hang out there until the holidays start back up again. and then we'll start the whole holiday routine again. We'll be out camping for Thanksgiving with the family. We'll come back to the DFW area for Christmas, and then we'll hit the road again.
Yeah, so this year the big reveal is we're going to Miami, which we already knew we were going to go to Florida for the springtime anyway, but Miami's going to be really great. But then after that, the rest of the year, we're essentially just making a huge loop around the West Coast. So if you have suggestions, places in that area along that path that we should hit up, please let us know. We would love to coordinate those stops or just know about some really cool places to stop along the way. But those are our five main anchor points for 2023 in terms of our travel plans as they are right now. I don't even think we have reservations for all of them. I think we have reservations for most of them. But that is what's on the agenda for 2023.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting year. I think there's so much to do on the East Coast. Like you could probably stop every 50 miles or so on the East Coast and find something new and interesting to do. Whereas you got to go towards the middle of America and up towards the Midwest, everything's really going to be spread out and really fun. You're driving through these beautiful mountains. You've got all this open space. I'm really really excited to see. I mean, these are areas I think we've seen in passing, but never really like been able to go and really spend a month someplace in some of these areas, and so it's gonna be really exciting for us.
Yeah, and we've been to some cool places in California, some that we've camped at and some that we've just gone to on vacation before, but it's been a long time since either one of us have been to California. And there's so much to do in California. So that's going to be fun to be able to spend quite a bit of time in California and just explore.
Well, don't say quite a bit. I hear things are pretty expensive over there, so we might be kind of rushing our way through California a little bit. I mean,
Got to save some money.
gotta the price of fuel alone might bankrupt us on
That's
that one.
true. That's true. Yeah, we got a budget, so our budget may impact how long we stay at different places, especially the more expensive places to stay at. But we're still excited. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a really fun, cool trip. And as we go places, we're going to be talking about it on the podcast. So we really hope that you join us for the rest of the year. We're going to still be sticking to our bi weekly theme. I think there's one additional call out anchor point that I think is worth saying is we're going to be at the Tampa RV Show.
Yes, we will.
And we are going to be trying to get a podcast episode out that very next Tuesday after it's over with kind of our nightly summaries of what we get to see there.
Yeah, and we're really just going because we want to see all of the new RVs for 2023. We want to talk to fellow campers and RV enthusiasts and just, make a connection there. And so we're super, super excited about that. I've already talked to a few people that I know are going to be there, but definitely if you're coming, let us know and we'll hook up and connect.
Yeah, we'll be there for several days just checking out all the different campers. And honestly, I mean, I think there's going to be a little bit of window shopping. Nothing we're looking at buying right now, but we just want to have an opportunity to see what's coming next, what's coming down the pipeline, what new stuff are the manufacturers coming up with. It's really exciting to see. Like we always talk about it, like in our camper, it's a little dark on the color scheme, and there's so many
Yeah.
people out there who are repainting and just redoing their camper to make it lighter and brighter. And oh, look, lo and behold, all the manufacturers are starting to make color schemes that are a lot brighter and a lot more welcoming. And so we're really excited just to see how they respond year over year. And so this was just a good opportunity. We're going to be in Florida, so why not go to the Tampa RV Show?
Exactly.
So, before we head out, I want to talk about one little trick that I found out about last year. Hadn't really implemented it until just recently because we hadn't needed it, but this was so, so super important, and I think it's so, so helpful if you are a full timer. Okay, wait, hold on. If you're not a full timer, winterize your camper.
Absolutely.
Like when you're not in it, winterize your camper. It is so important. You use that. Go to whatever your local camping store is. Get the winterizing stuff, the pink stuff, as we like to call it. Get your camper winterized. It is so important. It's going to protect you from so many damages down the road. Now, if you're a full timer, don't winterize your camper. Do like what we were talking about earlier. Sanitize once a year, but don't winterize. But if you've got a fifth wheel like us, and maybe even some pull behinds. I'm not really sure, like the different setups. So our water pump is in our basement, kind of behind a little panel. It's in the basement, which does get some of the heat from the furnace kind of going down in there to kind of help keep things at a controlled temperature, but it's not super controlled. So when you are in colder temperatures, that area in particular can get cold enough. So say you're in 25 degrees weather, that area might actually get down to 32 degrees and actually freeze. The reason this is important, especially for full timers, is because we don't personally winterize our system. The water pump has water in it. And I didn't think about this. I was a total dummy last year, didn't realize it. We dripped our water, but we had been using the pump like the week before. And this was, again, last February, last winter. And our pump froze with water in it. And so it cracked the pump. Easy fix. Go get a new pump. They're honestly cheaper just to go get new ones at this point and just replace it rather than trying to repair it. But the suggestion I got from our wonderful RV tech in Pensacola was get a heat lamp. That's all you need is this.
Incandescent bulbs are amazing.
Yeah, just get an old school incandescent bulb. I think I got a 150 watt. You could maybe get away with 100 watts just depending on the weather, or you can go all the way up to like 200 watts. But get like a little heat lamp and just put a regular incandescent bulb in there. And all I did was just, I got one of the clip on ones, and then I drilled some holes through the wood and zip tied it and locked it down, and then I ran the power cable to somewhere where I can just plug it in and unplug it, and it's just sitting back there in the basement, kind of behind the wall panels, pointing straight down at the pump and a few of the hoses and the manifold of all the water coming into the RV, and it just keeps it warm enough that you get down to, like for us this week, it was 10 degrees. Wind chill of -4, that area doesn't freeze. And so we tested it. This literally, I put it in a week ago, and we tested it in all of this weather, and we had no freezing issues down in that area. Now we had freezing in the other side of the camper in our underbelly. That's a different story. That was partially our fault a little bit just because we didn't drip the lines enough. But in that area, at least, we were able to keep the pump, which is really the thing that's going to crack the easiest. Those PEX tubes really don't crack very easily, but the metal and casing of the pump do crack.
Yeah, and the cool thing was, I actually was a little nervous at first because I was worried about the bulb like touching something or catching on fire or something like that. But because you got a heat lamp, it's specifically designed to be used for heat. It's encased. And so it's protected, it's safe, it's got this really heavy duty clamp on it. And like you said, you zip tied it to wood that's in that area, and then we'll obviously unplug it. That's part of what we'll add to our checklist whenever we move. And we don't need it during the summer months, just during the winter months, but we'll unplug it for safety whenever we're traveling. But that's such a great option. And how much was it? Like $10?
A little more than that. It's probably about $50 for the actual clamp and casing, and then it's like $5 for the bulbs. And I got a little 3-foot extension cable because the cable that came on it didn't reach all the way to where I needed the plug to be, and so I had to put a little extension so that way it's just dangling down. Well, right now it's plugged in, but when it's not being used, it'll just kind of dangle down, easy access for me to plug it in if I know we're gonna hit really cold weather.
Still cheaper than repairs.
Yes.
Which actually brings us to our fan question of the week. I thought it was very timely. And the question is, how do you do repairs while you're traveling? Because we've talked about before how every time you travel in an RV, pretty much you're going to get somewhere and you're going to find that something's broken and you're going to have to fix something. It could be something small, could be something big, but you're probably going to have to do some kind of repairs. And so this was a good question that came up.
Well, I think some of it is just knowing what you're capable of and knowing your skill level. If you're really handy, then you can probably do the repairs yourself, but you'll just have to carry your tools with you and you have to know exactly what tools you need. I am more of a MacGyver type.
I think you're very handy, which is why I promoted you.
Thank you. I like to make things work the best I can with what I have, and so I don't carry around as many tools as some guys do. And I'm fully willing to admit that there have been times that I don't have the right tool for the job, but I usually can make it work. I think that most small jobs on the RV, inside the basement, inside of the actual interior of the RV, are really easy for anybody to do. mostly stuff that you can go buy from Home Depot, Lowe's, or Ace Hardware or Tractor Supply. You can get pretty much everything you need there.
Wood glue, screws, extra nails, gorilla glue. Those are all great things to just keep on hand. That way, if your trim pops off while you're driving, you can just glue it back on. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, most of the stuff got installed with screws and nails, but wood glue really is going to survive a lot better going down the road. So anywhere you can, if something breaks, take the nail off, take the screw off, and just use wood glue. It
Yeah,
is
you
so
can
much easier.
reinforce it with the nail and the screw again, but definitely use the wood glue. It's going to come in handy.
It's going to survive a lot better. And then when it comes to a lot of the water stuff, it's really kind of basic. If you go to your local store, like again, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, they're going to have most of the parts that you need. Sometimes you can go to a local RV store and they'll have some really good items, but they're not going to have necessarily the full selection. A lot of the stuff in our bigger RVs, especially fifth wheels, they're using stuff that's being used in small homes. So it's the same parts, it's the same tubes, it's the same T and L brackets that you would get for a regular home. It's just for the RV. And most of it's really easy access. They especially when it comes to water lines, they really do in most RVs try to make it easy to get to what you need to get to. But if your camper's not that way or you're not very handy, talk to the RV site you're at. Guaranteed we'll have a mobile tech either, which is this one's very common, living on the campsite or
Real
living
close by.
or really close by who can come in usually on a pretty short notice. I mean, they're going to charge a little extra because they have to come out to you. But the nice thing is, you don't have to sit there and wait. You don't have to drop your RV off, or you don't have to change your plans. That's the other thing. You don't have to stop and go drop your RV off at a service center and stop what you're doing. No, they just come out to you when they are available and you get the work done. And a lot of times, they'll walk you through some of it. That's
Yeah.
the other nice thing is they'll walk you through so you can do some of the work yourself going forward. Or if it's something that is your fault, they can help walk you through how to prevent it from happening again. That's how we ended up with the heat lamp. Is I messed up. I had all my lines dripping, but I didn't think about the fact that there's water in the pump just sitting there. Cracked the pump. He replaced the pump for me. I probably could have done it myself. I just didn't realize where the leak was coming from. I didn't know where to look, honestly. So that was the other thing is he showed me where to look for the leaks. Like if I see water here, start here. And those are great suggestions. And if you just spend the time, you just kind of follow them around, help them out even. Like that was the other thing is help them out, be a helping hand so that way they're not having to do all the work themselves and it gives you a chance to have that experience. And so if you're not very handy, that's my suggestion is talk to the campsite you're at, get a mobile RV tech and work with them so you can learn a little bit as you're going and maybe learn tools that you need to buy. Like I said, I don't travel with a ton of tools, or at least not as many as other people do, but I know every tool that I have exists for a reason, and if I need a new one, I'll buy it.
The other thing I think that's really important, and it's easy to overlook, whether you're a full timer or not, is your regular maintenance. Stay on top of that regular maintenance because that's going to help to eliminate some really costly repairs down the road. So that means the rubber conditioner on your slide outs. If you have slide outs, make sure that you do that every 6 to 12 months. Make sure that you use the silicone seal and reseal all of the seams inside and outside your RV every 6 to 12 months. Check the rooftop, see if there's any cracks along the roof where water can get in and start a leak. All of those things are really important. If you have kind of a base of operations or home area that you go to or that you are familiar with, go and form a relationship with a reputable RV service station and plan every year to just take it in for annual maintenance and inspections. That's going to catch a lot of things and is going to help you to minimize some of those repairs that you have to do on the road. Is stuff going to happen? Yeah, it's going to happen. Things are going to happen like that. But if you plan ahead and you stay on top of that regular maintenance, you can minimize some repairs that can be really costly down the road.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
We post our email up. If honestly, if you have a question, if I know the answer or I can direct you to a YouTube video on how to do it, I'll direct you. YouTube's very useful. There's probably a lot that you're going to be able to figure out how to do yourself, and it's really really easy.
Well, thanks for listening, friends. Happy New Year. We would love to stay connected. Follow us on Instagram at WanderingRVBabe or email us a question or an idea or comment at podcast@wanderingrvbabe.com. Happy New Year, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
So funnily enough, we're starting to take some of our Instagram reels and we're starting to move them over to TikTok and have them in both places. But our very first TikTok has actually never been on Instagram. So I think we need to move that one from TikTok to Instagram because it shows me literally having to take some screws off so I can use wood glue to repair one of our countertops.
Oh, yeah. We broke that the first day we moved in. It was like, welcome to RV life. Now you have to do a repair.
Boom.